Well, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself, Oxshire, on the show tonight is my two good chums. Big Stevie and the one and only Southside. Evening, gentlemen, and I say that loosely.
Good evening, Oxshire, and I'd like to pass you over to my wingman for the Southside.
Good evening, Oxshire, and good to be on the night with the big man. Looking forward to it, and good evening to everyone listening in this evening on Burns night.
Here, a man's a man for all that. For all that, Southside. Big Stevie's a big fan of Burns.
Aye, fair far your honest sunny face, great chief to know the pudding race.
That's how we get the two puddings on the night. So, let's just sort out this one about the bike, right? Who wants to go first? The defence or the process?
Well, I was just listen, up this morning, yoga, done that this morning, had my porridge, and then we're on the bike, and if you want to doubt the bike, it's called a Carrera Ipsen. It's out of Halfords, and you can check it out. 12 mile a day and back.
There is other bike shops available.
Yes.
When he says yogurt, I think he's dyslexic, Stevie. I think he means yogurt, Stevie.
Yes, 100%. The man, he's totally out of order now. I lost 40 bangers, and he's have come up with a story to get your old dad tight, and I can't believe you're keeping this going for, I think it's 2 weeks now, 2 weeks. But him going to yoga, are you kidding me? The yoga class, Steve's just going to do his bed.
I didn't say I went to it. I can do it in the house.
Oh, what time was this yoga at?
Well, 6:05 it starts.
PM.
PM. I had to. Legs were sore after 12 mile. We'll try to get used, building it up, you know. So
a machine.
A washing machine.
I'm looking forward to seeing this bike with the stabilisers on it, Stevie.
The wee pink streamers are the raccoon hair, one of the two.
Yes, anyway. What have you two made of the Cantwell signing? Yeah? The Southside.
Aye, happy with that. I think liked his interview, Ox. Thought he spoke well. I think he'll bring a lot of speed, pace, craft, and he's going to a bit of an engine. He spoke well about to come here, work hard. So it's all positive. I think it'll be a good addition to the midfield, something that we've been missing.
Where are you playing him?
I think to start with the way he sounds, and he said midfield, I think you could probably play him on the left-hand side, but if you played a 4-3-3 for talking's sake, you could play him on just the left-hand side of that midfield.
All right, okay. What's your thoughts, Stevie? He did interview very well, didn't he?
Very confident. The boy's very confident, very articulate when he was talking, and if the confidence the way he spoke, he goes onto the field, I think we could have a good in here. But I don't know. I'm going to be honest and say I've just watched the usual YouTube carry on and everything else. If he can do it in England, he can certainly do it up here, I think. So I think we've won a watch here with the boy. And I liked his confidence. He spoke very, very well. And I just can't wait to get him. And I'd play him, I'd probably do the same as Southside, to be honest, play him the left of midfield. And see where it takes us for there. He's good at winning the ball back. He's good at he can split a pass. that probably nobody else can see, probably a wee bit Tillman-esque, if you want to put it that way. So, it's all looking good in the hood.
All right, only time will tell, but you did conduct yourself. Oh, we're getting feedback. Somebody. Stevie, go and mute, mate. That's it. Right, Southside, you did conduct yourself very well. I talked to you today, and I've got a different opinion for your good self about Saturday, yeah?
You have. I think you'll start. I think we should start him. And I think he possibly will. So that's what I would do with the team on Saturday against St Johnstone. I know he's probably not got a big level of fitness, but that's my opinion. I think he might start.
Well, I think he's not played for a while. I think it makes sense to get him on and maybe get him on the last half an hour. But I accept your point. It would give the crowd a lift, and it might give Bale a chance to play a slightly different system. Stevie?
I don't think he'll start. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he'll start. I think he'll be brought on. I don't know how much football he's playing. I'm only going by what you're saying there, but I definitely think he'll be brought on at some point, and I think he'll get a great standing. He'll get a great applause for the Bells. They'll bring him on, and hopefully that spurs the boy on.
Aye. Well, we'll see. And obviously we're hoping that more signings by the end of the week. If we're honest, Southside, yeah?
Yeah, obviously Raskin's the one that a lot of people are saying is close to finalising, or maybe on his way. So hopefully that will be done between the night and tomorrow. It's not being another bit of good news. And then obviously if we could maybe prize Morgan Whittaker, the other boy that we were looking at interested in, if we could get him in the door as well, and I think we could all agree that if that's the three signings Michael Beale wanted and we've got them in the door, then it's all positive for him and the club, and the board's done well by getting them in.
The Whittaker one, for instance, obviously I think his contract's up in the summer, Southside, yeah?
Did you say the summer there, Ox?
I think it is, isn't it?
I'm not 100% sure. I thought it might have had 18 months left, and that might have been the stumbling block for the money that they might be asking for, but I could be wrong.
Might be mixed up with Raskin. Sorry. Raskin's is definitely up in the summer, but I'll get it checked out about Whittaker. Raskin, bring him in early. Have you got a number in mind that makes it worthwhile? What you would pay, just your thoughts, and then we'll go to Stevie.
Well, he's valued. I think if we could get him for around about the $500,000 mark, $750,000 if we had to pay that, because by all accounts he would be worth more if he had more in his contract. So I think if we could get him for between $500,000 and $750,000, then I think we'd probably be stealing him under the circumstances of what he could be worth if he had an extra year left in his contract.
You get him in early, but you pay that, you get him in early.
I would pay it to get him in early, and I think in time we could probably make money on him. So you get him in the door and you get him used to the club and the way we're going to play, and it gets an extra body in to get ready for the start of next season, ready to go and knows what the club's about.
Stevie?
I agree. I would get the boy in right away, get him bedded in for the start of next season, find our feet, let him find his feet in the team. And we've got 2 cups to win and a league still on the go here. And I'm certainly not putting my white flag up when it comes to the league yet. So I would bring the boy in, try and get him as cheap as possible, obviously, but I wouldn't be paying any more than £1 million for him, I'm going to be honest.
Well, I think that's a lot of money for somebody who's got 6 months of his contract left.
Oh, mate, I know, but it's how it is, isn't it? It's doable.
It's all about opinions, But it's what ultimately, it's what Michael Beale values, getting him in early Southside, isn't it?
I think he's made the intention clear. He's obviously spoke to these 3 players, so I would imagine that that's the 3 players that he's hoping to get it done and over the line. I think he probably wanted the 3 of them in by January, so I think that's what he's hoping to get in. If one of them's longer, then so be it. But it'd be a great lift for the club if we could get 3 new signings in, definitely.
Yeah.
Ox, can I ask a question?
Yes, mate.
The boy, he's a Belgian international, the boy Raskin, eh?
5 caps he's had, mate. 5 caps.
So there you go. So I wouldn't say £1 million a bad amount of money to get him in a wee bit early.
All right, okay. We always good at spending other people's money, Southsider.
Aye. No, give him his due. He does stick his horn in his pocket.
Oh, he's known for his generosity.
It does go in a pocket. It's not always his own pocket, but it's a pocket, isn't it, Stevie?
Ah, well, there are hats, card badges and tapes, there are colours. That's all I'm going to say to you. There you go.
You meet him, you might as well just undo your wallet, Southsider.
No, I'll give him his due. Big man's generous. Certainly kind and generous. That's one thing about the big one. He's no slow to go to the bar.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. How's the food parcels gone?
Oh man, you're getting told less and less. You.
No comment. All right, okay, I'll accept that. Right, okay. So I'm saying for somebody that's 6 months early, you bring him in, he's going to be on 20+ grand a week because you're getting him basically on a free. He'll get the wages. So to bring him in early would maybe cost for £1 million plus another 6 months' wages. We're talking about £1.5 million. Aye, okay, if the manager wants him, I can see maybe that the sense in it, but economically, I don't think it makes sense. Football-wise, it might make sense. You know, there's two different subjects, Steve, here.
Well, that's the argument, isn't it? That's the whole argument. But let's be honest. I agree with Southside. What a lift it would give the support and our manager and the staff if we could get these 3 players into that squad for basically, Cantwell, I don't know, what kind of money are you talking about for Cantwell? What would you reckon we got him for?
It was class said it was undisclosed.
Aye. Right, so we're not going to know but just let's for talk and say you get the 2 of the players for even £3 million. Just say that, just for off the top of your head. Well, I think that's not a bad business if you're getting 2 players for £3 million. If they're going to do is come in there and hit the ground running, it's going to be an excellent bit of business. Because I'll tell you what, they're 4.5 year contracts they're talking about, they're better them. Well, you're going to make money off of them. You're definitely going to make a lot of money off them. I can't see them. I can't see any player running down their contract the way we've let Kent and Morelos go. I really can't see that happening anymore.
It'll be interesting to see how things pan out. This window, what's it got? 6 days to run, you know, so it'll be interesting what happens, you know. Right, okay. If it's all right with you two, I think we'll get these phone lines opened, eh?
Yeah, the bell's in, yes.
Aye. There's loads of things to talk about related to being Rangers, isn't it? Loads of things.
Always, mate, always.
Cup final tickets are out and all, and the museum and that.
Oh, there he goes. Ox, there he goes. Look, I'm platinum. I'll be getting my cup final ticket before you, Stevie. Oh, here we go. Here's my jersey.
Oh, here, what's wrong? You have no said a thing.
15 minutes we lasted, and there he's got the my jersey. That's what's in his head. Here it comes. Here it comes.
It was in my head because I was talking to somebody today and they said we should go back to the old way. We would just put all the season tickets in together and we just do a random ballot. But I thought, no. Can't be having that, can we?
No.
Anyway, I don't have a ticket for Hearts, so even though I'm double platinum gold, I've still not got one for Hearts yet. I didn't get one officially with my jersey, so I don't know what's happened, but obviously I've not got enough points.
Obviously, there's been a postal strike, Stevie, you know.
Aye. I was going to say, well, make sure you wear your apron, your scarf, and you'll end up in the director's box. Sorry.
Well, I'll have to pick my tickets up.
Well, it is rabbi, but...
I take it you've got one for me then, that spare apron pocket.
Always, brother. Always, brother. Always. Anyway, right, okay. So I want to talk about the signings, what we think's going to happen. Our information is that Raskin's a done deal, Southside, yeah? From one mole.
Yeah, he has said it was done and dusted, so we'll just have to wait and see. Probably be right again.
Probably put it out there first about Cantwell. We'll see it again when we think that deal's done. And just wait to be finalised, and then we'll move on with that and see what happens with the Whittaker one. Be funny having a Whittaker back at Ibrox, yeah?
Aye.
Right.
Never. no even for the half-time draw. I wouldn't have him back. All the other one, Naismith. They two shamed themselves on STV. Honestly, shamed themselves.
Couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. What was your views on Saturday's game? Obviously, I know the trees were up there. You want to run us? I don't want to run us through the whole day. You want to talk about the game? Stevie, what do you think? Just a victory and move on?
Can I just say this one? There was one guy represented Rangers Radio well who never had anything to drink, and there was another guy who was just stone cold drunk. Now, we'll let the listeners work out who's who and what's what. But just let me tell you, I had a fantastic day up there with my son. And as I said, cold night, went there. At the end of the day, Q Park, you've heard what my manager said about the pitches and stuff, St Johnstone's always going to be a difficult place, and I thought on another night, if they're keeping Liverpool off 2 wonder saves, one for, who was it, Big Golson Cedar, and the other for your favourite address as well, who's always immaculate.
Right.
Yes, Scott, right, that's correct. And another night we could have walked out of there 3-0. I know it wasn't a great performance, but when do you ever get a Scottish Cup tie where you can play silky soccer and knock the ball about? And do you know what I mean? Aye, we're wanting to see a better performance, we really do, but if somebody said to me before the game, 1-0, would you take it or leave it? I'd have took it. I would have took it. I'd have took a bridge, man.
I suppose we were lucky Southside we weren't playing Darvel.
Aye, could have been. Aye, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So it was. I know it was a good day. Started early, cultural singer, and then helped half the bus, helped into the ground, had to sit in a seat, helped up when we scored, sat back down and helped back on the bus. So it was a good day. Aye.
That'll happen to us all when we get to his age, Steve, yeah?
It'll happen to us all when we all get to gold on Manchels. Aye, well, the man had a good day, that's the main thing. He was punching the roof of the bus. His behaviour was unbelievable. But anyway, the reports were flooding in, just let me tell you. But Southside's one of the good guys. Great bear, good representation for the troops on the south side. And what more can you want?
Yeah. Don't tell him I said this, Stevie, but he's not a bad bloke.
No, one of the best. Southside. Can I ask you now, Southside, many European campaigns have you got under your belt?
82.
That isn't bad for a man your age. Just let me tell you, it isn't bad for a man.
First one was Normandy, Stevie.
That isn't bad for a man on the socialist medal.
Yeah, not round me old shop of check loans, man.
Aye, brilliant. No, you deserve it. You deserve to be in gold, mate. The money you've put into the club and all the European trips and everything you do. I mean, I don't know how many times you pull tickets out the hat for me and Jamba. We've been on your bus with 8 tickets heading up, and you've been on that phone and right, I'm meeting a boy for here. And I mean, I just some of the tickets you pulled out the hat for me has been unbelievable, mate. And that just shows you the contacts you've got through going to Europe and stuff like that with all these bells, Brilliant, fantastic.
Maybe you could take a leaf at his beat and try and be nice to people, Stevie. They might get you tickets.
Oh man,
it works always, Stevie. You know what it's like with everybody that tries to travel. You know, sometimes you're struggling and you've got to try and go far and beyond, and you've also tried and managed to get tickets for us and that. So you know how it goes, big man. We all try our best to get there at the end of the day, and by hook or by crook or by begging and having to keep begging and asking, you eventually usually get there. And it's only a testament to other Rangers fans out there that help us from time to time as well, mate, or we wouldn't manage the games, you know. And like we say, we try and help other players out when we can.
How do you solve a ticket issue? How do you solve?
Easy. Me and Stevie should just get one for every away game. That's just the way it should go.
You can't, can you?
No, listen, it's hard. Like, how are you meant to run buses, right? You know yourself, the away games, a lot of buses go. There is people travel by car, but you've got to fill a bus or many buses, but the majority of them are buses, 52-seaters, and the club are giving you probably one ticket. I think we're getting two for St Johnstone. That one there, we get two. So you hire a bus and you're still meant to fill it.
You mean you hire a tandem?
We've been lucky we can usually fill the bus, but then you're relying sometimes on non-members coming and stuff, and then they've got to be vetted before they come on the bus, you know what I mean, if you can, because you just can't have random strolling on. But
how did you pass the vetting situation, Stevie?
How did Stevie pass?
Aye.
Oh, he passed with flying colours, so he did. He was well examined. He passed, no bother.
Listen, I've got a way to sort out the tickets. The higher you earn the lodge, you should be able to get tickets. That's your goal, sir.
No. You don't use that for favours. Don't use that. He doesn't know the rules, does he? Oh.
Call me old-fashioned, eh? But listen, guys, you're
classless individual, so said he's a classless individual.
Sure, no. But no, Stevie's right. Rangers have got, I don't know, I think there was about 9,000 applied or something like that. There was one of the games, I think, in the away application we got, it said 20,000 applied. You've also got the thing as we're talking about for the cup final, Stevie. 36,000 Rangers fans get into the semi-final. But obviously when we're playing them now, it's going to get cut. I think our allocation will probably be maybe around about the 21 mark. And probably some go to hospitality. So then...
4,000, aye, about 3,000 for hospitality, innit?
Aye, we'll make up to about the 24 or whatever, I don't know. But we're guessing around about the 20,000. So you can see that there's going to be 16,000 people that manage to get to the semi-final that aren't going to get to the final.
I don't know how you solve that. I mean, I think we've all agreed that Hampden's no big enough.
Can I tell the listeners my story and how I'm only in bronze, and there's probably many examples the exact same as me, you know what I mean. For years and years I was going to Ibrox with my friend who was he's a successful businessman, and he'd bought 4 seats, so every year I would go to these seats for years and years. And the tickets all went through the 4 seats for away games, and then my boy comes along. Dad, what about me? I'm going with my pals there. I want to go with my dad, and I'm going, Alec, I need to go with my boy now. And it ends up that I have to start again, and I had to go out and buy 2 season tickets. And lucky enough, it was during COVID, and I couldn't believe it when I joined my gels and I got the 2 season tickets right away. So I started again, but for then to the new, I've accumulated 925 points. I'm just about bordering getting into silver. But I don't know what else to do. I mean, Rangers are fun away, guys. Let's be honest. They're fun away to connect the whole worldwide Rangers family, make everybody feel part of something. And they've got the people on the mainland, and they've got you by the ghoulies at the fact that they're making you buy stuff you probably wouldn't normally buy. to the fact that you might be getting 2 or 3 points for that and 5 for this and all the rest of it. So, in a business term, it's great for Rangers. In a worldwide term for the Rangers family, it's guys in Canada, America, South Africa, Australia. They all feel party because they're all getting the chance to buy my gels. The problem is what Southside said. You've got 20,000 people want to go to an away game, and you're only getting 9,000 to 8,000 tickets. What can you do?
I think there's two different things in there, Southside. As long as there's more people want to go to the game than there is tickets, you've got a ticket issue, and you'll not solve that. My GR's a membership and all that. What's positives? Oh, Stevie, put yourself in mute. It's got a lot of positives, Southside, if you're talking about being part of the membership of the club and it puts money into the club. We've been told it goes to first team players, yeah?
I do get the positive side of what it does for that, and it puts money into the first team playing pool, as I said. I joined the credit card scheme, Ox, when we went down the leagues. Mm-hmm. So at that point, there only was 3,000 on the credit card scheme at that time. And when we played the first final, we were humiliated in against Rafe Rovers at Easter Road. I knew I would get a ticket because I was in the scheme for the start. But your European, when you do the travel club scheme that you were in, I thought that was fair, the way they done it. But to lump that in with the ordinary season ticket holders and that don't travel abroad, then obviously we were getting extra points put into that because of your travel. So to me, I've showed loyalty to arrangements. They might not be able to get to the game, there could be work involved and stuff, but I get to them all, and I went to all the home games and I take all the tickets, so my points go up. But I still believe there's loads of people above me in my jers. There's one or two things that I moan about sometimes in my jers is because when it comes to the European travel, I've been lucky enough where I should have enough points where I get the tickets to travel. But it's getting dearer and dearer to go officially with Rangers if you choose to do so. I have in the past. But sometimes we all go independent. And then you've got to wait on Rangers, making sure that you're going to get that ticket. But Stevie, probably in time, if it came to it, there's no big demand on the official flights. And say a lot of the gold members have went, but some of them, they trickle it down to silver and bronze, and then you're guaranteed a ticket for an away game. Now, some people might think, well, is that fair or is it no fair? It's probably fair in the fact that if somebody wants to go in silver, then they should be allowed to go on the official flight if it's not getting took up with the amount of gold members that would normally travel that get the allocations.
I don't know how you solve one of the issues. They're complex issues, Stevie, how you reward loyalty, how we get new supporters, young people involved. Yeah, it's a difficult riddle, mate.
Well, for instance, there's another example. You heard me saying earlier on, thanks Southside for the amount of tickets he's helped me out with for here, there and everywhere. I mean, I've hardly missed an away game this season, but nearly everyone, I've only had one official. My Gers ticket for an away game was Motherwell away. So every other game I've been to, I've been accumulating somebody else's points. Well, I've not been getting them. The person that's tickets that I'm using, unfortunately for me, is getting the points. But I'm getting the ticket and I'm going to all the games. It's Rob Peter to Paul. You're never going to keep the demand happy. We're just that big a support. And we've seen the other side of the city, by the way. Their ground's been empty most of the games. If you've been having a snip at it there. Yeah, I mean, no matter who we play, it's a sellout. Everywhere we go, sellouts at Johnston, 3 sides of the stadium, sold out, plus people still looking. You're never going to keep that demand happy. But the killer for me is when you get down to Kilmarnock, you're storming each other's heads trying to get in there. There's people doubling up and all the rest of it trying to get in. And then you get in and you look across the other side to the opposite goal and it's empty. It's empty. St Mirren, 1.6 million losses this season. They've took that full end off of Rangers and Celtic. At 4 times they could have had that full with £30 a ticket. And they're losses, accumulating losses, £1.6 million. They're just hating themselves to death.
Don't disagree, but let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, and as I said, I would accept that the majority of people who are season ticket holders that put in for the tickets, so they become partner My Gears through tickets. But not everybody in My Gears will be interested in tickets. They'll want to do it to be part of the club, because maybe if they're in Canada or Australia, etc., they just want to be part of the club. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, not at all, because that £40 or £50, whatever it is they charge, goes straight into the first team pool. So it might only be £40, but it still contributes into the club. Tickets is a hard thing, like you say, Ox, where years back when clubs gave you the standard allocations, then the club, you knew when what you were getting, because Rangers would send you a letter and they would let you know you were getting these 3 games coming up, or 4 games, and then you could you'd know what was coming. And then after the split, you would get a letter in again telling you you'd either get one of the last 4 games, 3 games, whatever was away from him, you'd a chance. But obviously, now when they're cutting the allocation zones, like Hearts have done, Hibs done it in the past, Kilmarnock's doing it, St Mirren's doing it. So the fact that we're getting it all cut, it must be even harder for Rangers now to distribute tickets. And the way they're doing it through My Gears are your points and topping you down. And sometimes they're letting silver and bronze get tickets as well for games. Stevie, you'll find it hard to get up there, because I mean, you've bought everything that you can buy, but it's just coming down to the fact that you're probably going to take a good wee while to get up there now, because of where you're in bronze and people in silver. It's going to take you quite a while to try and get there, unless you want to buy a 50 grand plaque for the museum, and I think you guarantee you tickets and that. If you want to spend 50 grand.
Talking about the museum, how many points did we get for that? That was 150 quid. You got it recently. You know how many points?
50.
Was it 50 points? Right, aye. But as you said, it's going to take me a brave while, mate. I've went out, bought museum, 2 season tickets. I go to all the games. I buy all the... I can remember one time I was in that shop. Once the shop started getting itself together, I was never out it. You know what I mean? And you find yourself buying things. I mean, even get out for your meal. We'll get to Ibrox, get meal. Might as well use my My Gears and try and accumulate points. I don't know if you get points for getting in for a meal. I don't know what the situation is there. That's
one discount.
I think you lost points because it was a buffet.
You're a bad man, so you are. You really are. We're trying to have a decent, educated, adult discussion, and you've always got to lower the tone. Listen, the Bears will buy in, it's gone. They really will. I mean, I just try my best to give the club as much as I can give them, and me and my boy love going to Rangers.
Stevie, let's be honest, you would have done that whether there was a My Gears system or no.
Of course we would have. Of course I would. If My Gears collapsed tomorrow, I'd still be going to see Rangers at home and away.
You'd still be going for when you were there, you maybe pop in for a meal, you still go to the shop, you'd do whatever, wouldn't you?
Of course I would. Aye. Myra Hanley loves getting up there for a wee bite to eat. She loves it. No, and the boy, it's in the blood, man. It's in the DMA. The DNA.
Here. You know, but aye, listen, I don't know what the answer is with the tickets, but people might have an answer Southside, but I don't see how you solve it. I really don't, you know.
The bit that bugs a lot of the boys is the fact that a lot of you that have been in the credit card scheme, like we said, for the start, probably the older school boys people will be sitting listening going, I used to get to all the games. We have by hook or by crook, we've managed to get there just near enough every single week. But we travel. and it's cost a lot of money over the years to follow Rangers home and away and abroad.
Right.
And some of these are up by my mates like that, and you know him. Thing me Ox spoke about him. He's like that. I'm not buying Edmondson House, and I'm not buying any add-ons. I think I should be rewarded for the amount of times that I go to watch the games and where I've been and travelled, and the fact that he should be high up in my jersey for that reason. But there's a lot of boys that have travelled more games than me that aren't even in gold, and that's what I find surprising, you know. But it might be because things in the past you might have got tickets otherwise, and then when my jersey came in, you might not had a big history with Rangers
Well,
at the time for a. Aye.
That's an example,
Aye.
you know.
I've been going to see the Bears for years and years, and just unfortunately for me, everything was done through my pal's name, you know. And then when Jamie comes along, you know, you then got to start again. And unfortunately for me, that's what happened. Or I would be away up at Gold and all, but look, you're trying to find a way to climb a tree, and it's going to be very hard for everybody. You know, the demand and everything else is just the blue dollar, and it's just craziness. Absolutely craziness, you know. And we just love our club that much. They could ask us for £100 tomorrow and then ask us for another £100 next week. And do you know, every one of us will try our best to gear them it. You know, that's the bottom line.
I just don't know. If you've got 20,000 tickets and you're 20,001, you're going to be browned off, aren't you? It's
Well,
true, isn't it?
Southside's got a horror story about that. There was boys at Seville were beat with like 5 points or something for getting a ticket.
Alex Fisher. Remember that story? Yeah.
There you go. I mean, how soul destroying would that be? I mean, it was soul destroying for me enough that I never got a ticket, and I watched people that never go to see Rangers going down there and getting into that game that day. And what can you do about it? You've just got to accept the fact that there's guys with money that can pick and choose when they want to go and see Rangers. It's as plain and simple as that. Whether it's fair or not.
Well, I'll cut across you. Jimmy's joined this evening. Jimmy.
Good evening, lads. Thanks very much for taking my call. Appreciate it.
All right, Jimmy.
I've been listening to the ticket hanging, and sadly, there's no easy answer at all. You know, since the days and the grounds were big grounds you were going to, and you used to get lifted over, you used to double up, and then you used to be able to sneak in, and all these things, you know, and then the buses. The buses were always the same with tickets, you know, but the only difference in those days is that the Rangers were giving you a bigger percentage on the buses for tickets, you know, so you were getting more into the grounds. There was never, you know, even the home supporters were mixed up with the Rangers supporters, you know, even in places like Dundee, Aberdeen, you know, where you would go up there for the night, you know. There was none of the animosity, there was none of that, you know. It was only like your Celtic, you know. Even at Easter Road, you know, there was a big terrace at Easter Road, and then across in front of the stand, you'd be mixed up with them, you know. But they would be interested in getting the crowds in to get the money, you know. That was how it all worked. And then obviously the crowd figures were diddled for the directors of the clubs, you know. I mean, Parkhead was hardly ever in at Parkhead, and yet when you seen it, the place was stowed out, you know. But nowadays, that mind years, I can't complain about it myself because I've always been very fortunate. But the one I couldn't understand was the St Johnson. I'm in this gold, whatever it's called, in my years, you know, gold tier. But there I apply for all the tickets for all the away games, for on the do the buttons and get the thing in the internet, make a charitable donation and all the rest of it to get it. And then they'll let me know if I've got a ticket or no. But there's St Johnson now. He stands, and I'm a gold, whatever it is called, my jersey man, or whatever the hell that. And I never got a ticket for St Johnson. But I got a ticket for them doing in Liverpool for the European game at Anfield. I got a ticket for Seville. I got a semi-final ticket. And I've got my final ticket now for this CIS thing, or League Cup or whatever it's called. So I don't know how that works either. you know.
Well, do you want me
No,
swapping
okay,
for a ticket for St John's?
No, but it's just when people say that it works out for this, it doesn't always work out the way it seems to work out. You know, it's no. I mean, as I say, I'm very, very fortunate, and I count myself fortunate. But I've been following the Rangers all my life, and I've had a season ticket all my life. And I spent years in South Africa, and I stayed down in Watford for 30 odd years. And I still kept my Rangers ticket, even although I was in South Africa, and even although I was in Watford. You know, because my family and the way we were brought up was it's money to the Rangers.
Aye.
You know.
Aye.
It's like a donation. Every day for the Rangers, it's money. It's a donation you're giving them. It doesn't matter whether you're there, whether you're not there, or whatever. The Rangers get that money. You know, it's to support the Rangers and fund the Rangers, and that's what it should be all about. The Rangers, because the Rangers are the most important thing. But the ticket thing, it's a shame for the people now, because it's definitely a money thing. And I was amazed that they dropped my, you know, it's a problem for me now because I'm a pensioner now, because I can't give my ticket to anybody, because when you go in the door or you're in the gate, it makes a noise.
The two boys on the call when they get challenged if they said they were pensioners.
Aye, but the wee woman, there's a nice wee woman. I don't know. She's got all that Hedora top and that, you know. And she's a wee foreign lady, but she's a lovely wee lady, and she always comes to see who's coming in, you know. And it's the same with the away tickets now. You know, you used to be able to give them to the boys. It's all right in places like maybe at Perth, where there's a big crowd at Muirton. Well, it's not called Muirton, I don't think now. Where there's a big crowd and they're all steaming to get in, then you can get in yet. But the ones that are stand and look at tickets and do all this, you know, but you can't give them your ticket because it's sure it gets done. You know, it's sure it loses it if you're giving it to somebody else. So the whole ticket business and the whole thing, there's no easy answer.
No.
Yeah, but it's the size of the gruns. The gruns, you know, the away gruns are all we know, and they don't mix up the support. And the hardest ticket for me is Aberdeen at Pittodrie. Aberdeen at Pittodrie. I'm standing outside there on a Wednesday night. I go up there early, and I'm up there for maybe 3 in the afternoon. And then I go to the wee shop, and I get in it all, trying to beg, borrow, and tell them all the stories that I'm working up there. I stay up in Aberdeen and all this, and they just don't entertain me, you know. And then when the buses start arriving, you're begging and borrowing. And the worst thing that happens to me there is the Rangers supporters, the young boys that are bevied, coming off the buses. And I've been in that position myself. And you're asking for a ticket off them, and they're saying, away you go, you stupid old, there's no chance of a ticket, you know. And you were like, you know, I was going to see this mob, and the best bit of you was running down the inside of your mother's leg, you know. And it's just frustrating and anger, but there's no easy answer to it all. You know, there definitely is.
I agree with you, Jimmy. I don't know. Southside.
Nah, Jimmy, just listening to what you were saying. I mean, we used to go up to the east end of the city with about 18,000, and we used to get the old bit of the main stone and all. And if you remember Tannadice and the old terrace, and they used to be up there, no steep as anything and that, you know, it was a lot bigger. But they've been cutting their crowds. Easter Road, and Tynecastle when you come in.
We used to be in part of the Jungle Park, you know.
Aye. But we used to get that. We used to come in at Easter Road through the old 2 wooden gates, and then you could come in behind the goal, and then you could go right round to the left and all that. But as we're talking next Wednesday night, there's 800 tickets Rangers will have for Tynecastle, you know. But I've not a lot through my jersey either, Jimmy, to be honest. I had Livingston at the start of the season. I got the cup ties. I think my records must be no bad because I get the cup ties. I've got the final and semi-finals and that, but I've been struggling for a lot of the league games, you know, although I've managed to get there one way or another, but I've struggled through my jersey for the research.
How do you solve that, Jimmy, when there's 800 tickets for Easter for Tynecastle? And there's 20,000 one to go?
I normally beg and borrow, you know what I mean? I normally drive up because I can't go on the buses because I've got prostate cancer and I've got troubles with slashing and all that now. So I have to take my motor or a gear that's associated with stopping for peeing and peeing yourself and all the rest of that sort of stuff that you've got to deal with. But it's begging and borrowing, you know what I mean?
We know that.
You know what I
we
mean?
know that. The three is on here have all done it, mate.
And you get them, you know what I mean? They're usually, you know, there's usually some tickets on the buses or somebody's got tickets that gets them. You know, the scaffolder boy in his things used to be good for it. Miss Smiley, you know. He arrives in his pickup motor thing, you know, and he usually had tickets, you know, could do something for folk, you know. So it's just the way it is, you know. It's part of the experience of being a Rangers fan, you know. But I can't say that there's no answer to it. But for the young ones, you know, they've got to go and they've got to, you know, it's like when they went to Seville, you know, and I met the boys out there, you know, I was at Barcelona, Manchester and Seville, and I said to them, you have to be there. Even if you've not got a ticket, you don't get in. You know, these are historic moments in the club's history. These are things that matter, you know. Whether you get in or whether you don't get in, it doesn't matter, you know. It's like when we used to go down to Newcastle, down to Leeds, down to Manchester, you know, and the troops were all in. But in these days, we'd get in, you know, in full of places, you know. And it was good because it's all part of the Rangers and part of following the Rangers and part of our history.
Here's a question for you three guys, and Jimmy, I'm not being rude when you say this, you're slightly older than the Maesters on the call, but how do we then encourage the young team Southside, the boys and the grandkids that are going to come along? Stevie's the only granda on here. How are we going to encourage the support to grow for the young team?
I think you can see the element of the younger mob now that's following the Rangers. It's down to the club's auction. It's down to them to let more people in, if possible. And then obviously you're looking for people, the younger guys that will get some tickets. But it's how it gets distributed, and that seems to be the problem. As much as we know, we could fill probably every ground in Scotland when we go away from home. But like Stevie's saying, he's been following the Rangers more than some of the young team now, and he's struggling. And you're trying to encourage these guys because you don't want to discourage them, I suppose, if we can get more of them to come into Ibrox. But the main thing, you know, I don't know how you're going to settle it going forward, Docs. I really don't. It's just a conundrum. And it's just something that Rangers will just have to deal with going forward. And sometimes you'll, like Jimmy says, we'll be lucky. And there'll be loads of times when we'll probably feel unlucky. And that's when we need to go in the beg and the borrow. You get there?
Aye, I get it. And I get how frustrating it is. And it becomes it becomes a labour of love, Jimmy, trying to get tickets for games. I mean, it's a relatively, you know, since the stadium's smaller, no, in Scotland, yeah.
It's part of the whole setup. I mean, it used to be even at Ibrox. I mean, I had relations that used to work in the door under the main stand, you know, folk had stayed basically in Coleman Road. And he would open the doors and let you in, you know. I mean, the chat, as a wee boy, you'd chat on the door. They'd say, just hang about there. And then the next thing you know, they'd open the door and say, right, in you come. And that was you getting in, you know. But there's nothing like that happens nowadays, as far as I know, you know. It's not too, you know, it's just... But the ones I feel sorry for is that young Union Bears and all the boys. You know, you see them all over the place. And you know, we need them, you know, because they're the ones that give the atmosphere. They're you know, and people, some of our support never used to be divisive. Our support's very divisive now, you know. And I think that's sort of to do with the political situation in the country, which to me is they're hell-bent in dividing it and hell-bent in destroying things like the Rangers and the beliefs of the Rangers and you know, the values that we hold, you know. And to me, it's terrible, you know. It just is.
I don't know how you solve that riddle, Southside. I mean, you think back to a certain generation who went to the games, they got lifted door, they went with their parents, home and away, Southside, yeah. People got lifted door, and They started going to the games like that, and slowly they'd maybe joined buses themselves, went to games. There was always tickets on the buses because they're members. All these things don't really happen now.
No, I mean, Jimmy, you remember, you could pay, you used to be able to go up there and pay in at the East End of Glasgow when we played them. If you were up there for 1:45, I think the deadline was you could pay in to go up and see the Rangers, you know, because there was wee shops. You could go down the Paisley Road, you could go to Greaves and the Toon, there was a couple of outlets, there was Buchanan's and that. You could actually go and buy tickets off them to go to the game. And like you said, everybody went together on the buses by travel because you had a lot more on the terracing back in the day. And a lot of it back in the day, we remember, was paying until obviously probably going back to when Soonest arrives and things change. But even then, back then, Dave, you know, Jimmy, you knew yourself, if there's a couple of years gone and maybe somebody didn't have a ticket, you always made sure to go in the old double shuffle or whatever. No, but now it's harder and harder. Because now when you come in, I seen the difference. See, when we were doing the leagues, we went to all the wee gruns doing the leagues, and the police and the stewards and that weren't bothered with you. Talk away, good to see you in their town. We'd been in there all day drinking, walked up to the stadium, and everybody was nice to you. You could even go to the grun at half time and go to some of the boozers, and they'd even like you back in if you wanted to go back in, or the game was live on the telly. You could go to at half time and all that. And or whatever, right? We were a couple of boys were going in and out at Berwick one day, right? But see, when we come back to the Premier League, everything changed. As soon as you get a turnstile, you're getting searched. If you were boys going up in the trains or coming off buses, you're getting stopped on the way up and all that carry on. It was nothing that we experienced to get down the leagues, going all through all the wee towns in Scotland. You know, we didn't get that until you come back into the SPL, and then it's just like military style. How you're escorted and how you're dealt with. Totally different.
And it was the same with the specials. You mentioned the train. The specials were a great thing, you know, because that's where the boys learn, or you tell them the stories. They go to the songs, they go to the singing, they go to all the tales, the felt for it. They go
to the odd bargain as well.
Cheesy meat rolls.
They never get brainwashed, but they go to the message. You know, they knew what it was about. And that's what brought it all on, you know. So everybody was as one. But nowadays, you know, you hear them all and you listen to it all, and, you know. And when they realise that the team's not successful, it's because a lot of them are accepting failure and think, oh, look at where we've came from. They're going back to the Murray days and saying, hey, but look at what happened here and look at what happened there. And if the more you look back, it's stopping you going forward. You're going to forget about what happened. The Rangers are about winning cups and winning trophies and glory. That's what it's about. Because if it doesn't happen, where's all our history books going to go? We don't have people writing books now. We don't have managers writing books. We don't have captains writing books. We don't have players writing books telling us all about it. Because contractually they're all signed up not to say anything about anything. You know, that's all wrong. You know, that's all wrong on it.
I think the other thing is, if they maybe brought a book out back in the day, it was a pie for them. Well, they're so wealthy, football players now. They don't need to worry about that side of the game, if that makes sense, Jimmy.
It's still there. You know what I mean? There's still. I mean, there's a guy that up at the Parkhead end of the thing. He's just done it. This guy's there. There's managers there. You know, because it's an ego thing with them as well. It's not just all about cash. They like the publicity. They like the gratification. They like the hero worship. They like becoming legends. They like all that because they know that when they hit on the hard times, if it does come, they'll make a fortune just signing things and going to all the, you know, all the rest of it. You know, but they don't seem to. It's just, you know, I mean, I remember in the Partick Royal, and we used to have the meetings up in the Masonic halls in Dumbarton Road on a Sunday night, you know. Alec Miller used to be the president, you know, and he would come up there most Sunday nights, you know, and he would tell you about the Rangers and tell you about us and tell you about that. And, you know, it's just different altogether now, you know. The Players of the Year dances, they would all be there. If you go to
thing I know, back then, I know, Jimmy, every game was pretty much 3 o'clock on a Saturday. You could have a function on a Saturday night and you'd be guaranteed players there. How many times do we play on a Sunday now? Yeah.
Aye. But even, you don't all play. The size. I mean, we could fill it. We could have a player of the year dance for players if they just brought all their injured players. There'd hardly be any tickets for the supporters if all your injured players.
Well, that's true. That's true at the moment, mate. That's a good point, Sus.
Aye.
Aye.
What about him then? He's got a broken leg. What about him? He's got this. He
can't dance, Jimmy.
Same as you're saying, Jimmy. You'll probably remember the Rangers rallies and that they used to have, and even in the supporters club and that we were in, we could get players down back in the day. They were glad to come down. Certain times, even when we won Scottish Cup and that trebles back, they'd even come down to the club and come down with a trophy and that, after Hampden for a bit. But nowadays there's a lot of contractual stuff and they don't want to be seen, and obviously now with mobile phones and all that, as we've seen back to what can happen to people this day and age.
Crazy.
Aye,
what happened to Donald Finlay was a disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. What happened to him? Terrible. But that's what I mean. Our support's changed. Our support used to be as one. Now it's all divisive. Now you get folks saying, "Oh, this is terrible. That's awful. Oh, we should have this. We should have that. We should be doing this." It used to be, this is it, and that's finished. And everybody was all, we never turned on each other. We never said, "Oh no, I don't agree with this." There was one flag, there was one Rangers, and that was it. And it was good, and there was nothing the matter with it. It's good to test the time.
Anyway, if you don't mind, lads, get yourselves on mute because we're going to have a tune. Well, thanks for that. I was up there as high as I could get there.
Aye, all feet were all tapping. Yep. We'll go to marching bits on.
You enjoy that, Jimmy?
Aye, I'll be bummed. Aye. Good, all good stuff. Aye. The whole thing is good, you know. But it's a shame for the young ones at these days. You know, it's very, very hard for them. You know, and a lot is to do with money as well. But unless you're minted, and unless you're, you know, there's no fair way of doing it. But an interesting one is, I've got a seat in the government here, or Sandy Jarden here, and it's called. And so, anyway, I've been in there for a long time, and so since the days it was all different colours and that, you know, at one time it used to be the honours section, I think I was in. But whatever, I'm in a good seat, but there's a little boy in front of me, and he's in his 90s. So I was talking to him, and I've seen all the managers since the days of Simon, and his boy, he goes with his family, and his boy was saying, he's seen all the managers since the days of Struth, you know. So I said to him, what's the best Rangers manager you've seen? And without any hesitation, he said Souness, you know. And when we thought about it, and I said, well, if it wasn't for Souness changed everything, you know. And, you know, obviously Lawrence Marlborough brought in David Holmes, and David Holmes, you know, got in Souness, and then it was through Souness that Murray got involved. And the whole thing all sort of happened, you know. And then even in the background staff, it was David Holmes that brought in Lee Doddy as the kit man. And then obviously Jimmy Bell, all blue noses and all, you know, tied up in the tradition of the club, you know. And it all happened, you know. And I thought that was interesting when I said so. When I thought about it, I couldn't really disagree with him. Obviously, if it wasn't for Souness, we would have Walter Smith and so on and so forth, you know.
To be fair, that was the start of the ticket problem, Southside.
So you could,
aye, here, Jimmy.
How did the ticket problem start?
He came in. He came in. We used to, if the tickets were ever needed, we used to get them. No, like back in the day, but we used to get in without tickets and that through a good friend that worked in Ibrox. But when he came along, it was like, oh well, it's time to get season tickets now, you know. And that was that. It revolutionised the whole of Scottish football at that time, you know. But aye, and even then, if you looked at it back there when he came in and we won the league up at Pittodrie, I mean, we were in Pittodrie that day. You were probably in there yourself, Jimmy, same as Ox was. But there was thousands outside and all, but Jimmy, you know, there was thousands locked outside that day, you know. I think they shoot the gates and get in with about 10-15 minutes to go, or else they just opened the gates, because I think they were locking the gates outside to get in, you know, by that time.
Tannadice was the same with the leader, you know, that was the same getting in there, you know.
Anyway, we've been joined by Alex Kelly. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Alex here. Southside, Big Stevie and Jimmy. If there's anybody else there.
How you doing, Alex?
Aye, doing fine, boys, doing fine. Enjoying listening to Jimmy there, reminiscing. Great stories, Jimmy. And Jimmy's right. For me, I was wanting to pose a question to you in the Rangers support. Who really drives the standard at Rangers? You know, is it the manager? Is it the directors? Or is it the support? Because for me, it should always be the support. It always will be the support. And Jimmy's stories tell you that. So it's great listening to Jimmy. I love listening to kind of guys like yourself, my dad, and you know the older kind of Ranger support out there, because they kind of pass on the knowledge and the players that they've seen, the teams that they've seen over the years, and he's basically telling you, see what we've done in recent years. It's decent, but it's not good enough, and we strive to have more. And I don't see there's a problem with that. Because when you've got John Bennett coming out there at the start of the season telling us the Rangers support should be satisfied with what we've won. No. Rangers supporters should never be satisfied. You should always strive to improve. You park that. That's history. Let's make new history. The last few years hasn't been good enough. But I don't see there is a problem with wanting success, you know. And I think that's why the Rangers support, we're happy with what Bale's done when he's come in. We're starting to win, but we're still not enjoying what we're seeing. And the fact that that them across the city are that much in front of us just, amplifies how bad we want that success. So I don't think there's a problem in wanting success, but what we're seeing on the park isn't good enough for what we're getting. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
I think if you look at a season generally, there's always peaks and troughs in performances, and you're not going to get vintage even when we win the league, and historically. So seasons are seasons, and they unfold in front of you, Southside. But yeah, I couldn't agree more that better never stops. You want to keep winning, you want to keep improving, Southside.
There's no doubt, Alex, that we should have been winning more trophies than what we have in the last wee while. I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, but that squad, the majority of them were like one season wonders. They won the league, and then I think a lot of them thought, well, we've achieved it now. But no, we should be winning cups and trophies. We need to be winning league titles. That's what I've seen Rangers. I've seen Rangers go through barn spells, don't get me wrong. I've seen it. But we could still pick up trophies and here and there, even when we couldn't win the league. We could still win a League Cup and all that, even when John Gregg was back in the day and that. I've seen poor Rangers teams, but the success is what we wanted. When we got back up the leagues, it was about getting back to winning titles, and unfortunately at the moment we've only got the one in the bag, and it isn't good enough, Alex, to be honest. But I'm hoping that Michael Beale being before, I think Gerrard brought the standards back up for what Walter had at it. I think he demanded a lot for the players. I think Steven Gerrard, when he used to talk about the standards at the club and mention Bill Struth and all that, I think that was the right thing. I think he got his fit professionally. We're back to being fit again. And I think he demanded standards. He was a winner. So I'm hoping Mike...
He improved the playing staff as well. Better players there than what we had previously.
He upgraded what he could, but I think, like we're doing, we're having to upgrade again now. This is us having to rebuild a bit of a full squad again. And if you look back to the players that we've had, Alex, for the 4 or 5 seasons, some 6, they've underachieved probably as in getting us winning trophies. There's no point in saying we got to Europa League final. It was brilliant, but it sends shivers down there. If you can't win it, I'm not interested. Same with Manchester. I walked straight out when the final whistle went. I'm not interested. We didn't win it. It's all right saying we got there and it puts the club on the map, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. So I'm hoping that we win this League Cup coming up, Alex. That's what I'm looking for, and that'd be a good start for us and Michael Beale and the whole support and club.
Stevie, in you come, mate.
I'm very much the same as just what you are talking about there, Mister. You talk about standards. They're set by guys like Mr. Struth, and they become traditions. We have lost some of our traditions because we've got to move with the times, unfortunately. But to be a Ranger, for me, just a Ranger supporter for me is not just what you do at the football match. It's how you live, working class family, bring your family up. Your neighbours were Mr. and Mrs. and it's just how you're brought up. You're a Ranger, it's just how things are. I mean, I want to win every throw and I want to win everything. I don't want anybody to do anything. Of course we want to win trophies every year. We want to set the bar all the time. We set the bar high in Europe there, and then we had a disastrous one. Win, lose or draw, is that not what the song says? And our traditions, it's the support that will keep the traditions of the club alive. Nobody else. The support will keep the club.
I thought I was working class till I used to, and I realised I was middle class.
Ulster, can I say something to Jimmy? Can I say, by the way, I've enjoyed listening to Jimmy. I mean, everything Jimmy said. I mean, I love going to the old Tynecastle, beware of pickpockets, and the old beach end, the old wooden benches, and all through the Soonest era right up. I mean, I'm only touching 50. My first League Cup final was McCoy's hat trick. That's the kind of first cup memory I can remember.
1984.
1984, I was born in 73, so that isn't bad. So, but listen to Jimmy, but absolutely brilliant call tonight. And do you know something, Jimmy? I wished half of that Rangers team were listening to you tonight. Your health's not the greatest, and you're still managing to get up there and support them. And when I look at guys like Kamer Roof, they want to have a look in the mirror when they look that. I hope some of them are listening to this show tonight. Yeah, really fantastic call. And of course, guys like Alec Kelly coming on talking about their daddy, and I think of my dad, Elvis, and that. Man, come on, man. But it's passion and tradition, and it gets handed down, doesn't it? And it's how you represent yourself. You go anywhere, collar and tie. That's what it being a jail's all about, isn't it? We're different for them, but are we?
But we've had
100%.
We've had leaner periods in our history than this, Jimmy, yeah?
Aye. Definitely. But it's the fact that the Rangers support now, there's a lot of the Rangers support are accepting failure. And once you start accepting failure's what you're going to get. That's what's going to happen. People saying it was great getting to Seville, we done well. Look where we've come from. And you say, well, when was the last time we won a Scottish League Cup, which people think is nothing? They just gear them away, get them in a comic. Say, like 11 years ago or something like that. The Scottish Cup. I mean, I was in tears coming out of Hampden when we won the Scottish Cup. Because I'd come back from Seville, I was disappointed, because that was our best chance at European glory and probably the best chance that we'll ever have of it. And we never took it. That was a failure on the squad because the squad wasn't good enough. If you look at the Rangers captains, and you say to that boy that's a Rangers captain, say, how long have you played for the Rangers? In whatever year it is. I don't know. He's been there for 8 years, 9 years, something like that. He's been there a long time anyway. And you say, how long have you been captain of the Rangers? Say, how many medals have you got? How many trophies have you left at? I mean, you get the answers after and you say, you're kidding. Say, no. Say, well, surely you must realise that there's something not right there. Even when we were in the leagues. What?
Jimmy, we've got something in common. I was in tears at Hampden there, I know, but I waited 2 hours in a pie stall and I couldn't get a pie. No, it's something common, mate. It's something common.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Yep. It's all right saying we were playing in the 3rd division and all that, but we were in the cup final against the Hibs. We could have won the League Cup. We've never done it. It's not good enough.
No, we've not won a lot of trophies. We should have won the 2 competitions. The 2 finals. The 2 finals. We should have won the matches, Southside. We should have. Yeah, if we're being honest.
Aye.
Games, the Blueberry games, yeah.
Aye, 100%. And it's right, Jimmy. Don't think the whole support. I think the new sort of boys that are following the Rangers now, getting to their 20s and all that. A lot of them probably seen their first league title there when we got 55. Some of them might remember back to Kilmarnock, but don't get me wrong, we've seen the way the club got absolutely mauled and stripped and everything that happened, and the way that we should have used a lot of the young boys, I think, back in through the leagues and getting guys like probably Gavin Swanky, Rory McAllister, 2 blue noses that were scoring goals for fun, instead of buying idiots like Ian Black and Kevin Kyle, we should have got boys like that have walked to Ibrox and played and scored goals for us in the leagues and helped some of the boys, but there's always this thing fearful of if we draw them, we'll get a doing, And the way things went with the club, it has took a lot to get us back to probably trying to get decent players. You can see the mess that happened when we had Kashina and we're getting Pena and Oxy's pal Herrera, and that was just wasted money, and we went through all that, and what we've had today, and then we try to get Gerrard in, and let's be honest, he put us right back on the map, Jimmy, where it came to Europe, and managed to upgrade the players slowly as he went along, and then obviously it gets to a point where then we've went in with Gio and we've not actually progressed well, we got a cup, I suppose. We've won a Scottish Cup that we haven't won in a long time, and we got to a European final. But this now, Jimmy, has got to be the time where we need to start winning. We've got potentially still three trophies to go for this year. Two of them are definitely achievable, and one we'll need to look for a bit of luck, I think. But it's still achievable. But next year, we've got to really be on the map in Scotland and winning and batter all this dross in the league, and then put the markers down against them this year and certainly batter them next year, and we'll be champions. And then we can hopefully get into Europe again and we can progress the club. That's what we've got to do, and hopefully Michael Beale will be the right guy. That's what we've put our faith in.
I think the standards that you talked about, AK, come for a combination of a lot of things. It comes for the support, but the leadership with the club's important for driving the standards. And obviously, success breeds interest in the club. You know, if you're more successful, if you think back just less than a calendar year, mate, when that couple of weeks with the thing of Seville, and just everybody was in a haze, weren't they? In a haze, you know. It just became. It was like a bubble we were on, and it burst when Ramsey missed that penalty. If I'm being honest, okay, yeah. But
no, you're right, pal.
It's a combination of a lot of things. It comes for the team on the park. It comes for the way the clubs run, and we've seen good and bad in our immediate history. Yeah, if we're being honest. And even in the good times, our club was badly run, if we're honest as well.
Yeah, but I think there's also been mistakes made in recent years as well, Oxford, to be honest with you, Tay. When you look at the rise in wage bill that we've got and the relative success that we've got placed against it, it's the guys are right, it's not good enough. The product in the part isn't good enough. And as Jimmy says, we're basically rewarding failure by renewing contracts with Connor Golson and Tavernier and that. And what we're getting at them isn't good enough. I mean, everybody thought McGregor was leaving after the Scottish Cup final whistle, you know, and all of a sudden he's back in the building. Arfield get renewed before that. Ryan Jack's possibly going to get asked again to style. And I mean, see if we don't change the team and refresh. I mean, I'm happy to see new signings coming in, but see when you see nobody coming out and that wage bill getting higher and higher and higher, there's a alarm bell starting to ring for me. I'll say, where are we getting this money for, and why are we not getting putting guys out? I mean, I've heard it's no easy to put the likes of Hollander and that out. I don't know if there's any truth in the bid with Hadji. That's a high earner that he could. You know, there's no guarantee that he's going to come back to be the same player or better. We've already renewed his contract, you know, and Galatasaray is meant to be coming in there with a bid. That's a guy who you probably could get off the list, because you're looking at Tom Lawrence, Alex Lowry, Tillman, and the boy Cantwell, all for that similar sort of position. So I think there's been, you know, eye off the ball with the board. It's good, you know, the finances that they've gave towards their managers the last couple of years, but I think we've also rewarded failure in the set that the players are getting older now. Bill's trying to play this system that he implemented with Gerrard 2-3 years ago. It took them 3 years to get that, you know, spot on with the players that they had, but they also had players that were 2 years down the line, with no getting injured, and you know they were reliable. And it's 2 years later, and he's trying to play the same system with older players, wear and tear on their body parts, and it's no coming together the way he probably hopes. So I think he's got to refresh the squad for, you know, to implement his style on the team.
Sense tells you that. I mean, what's he used? Southside. He's pretty much used 2 goalies, 11 players, and a couple of. You know, he's rotated Jack and Kamara. Basically, if we're being honest, since Michael Beale's come in, that's what he's done. He's, all right, there's the odd game that Lowry started against Motherwell, but basically it's been Jack, Kamara, Lundstrom with Tillman. That's been the midfield. The front three's been pretty much constant, for the majority of the games. All right, we know Arfield's come on and played bits and pieces, but we'll maybe use 13 or 14 players at this time of the year. On these pitches. I know it's been done in the past, but in modern football the game's changed. You need to refresh all the time. I would have gave Golson and Tavernier contracts Southside, and I'll go to Stevie for this. I wouldn't have given them 4-year contracts.
No, I wouldn't have done the 4-year deal. Connor, for me, Alex, I wasn't really bothered whether he stayed or went. I don't think I think he's got deficiencies in his game. I don't think he's great in the air. I think he can lead, he can command, but I think we give him time in the ball. He makes stupid errors and stuff. He turns his back. He's not very brave, I don't think. But we gave him the deal, and I think when he gave him and Tav the deal back then, I think they thought, well, that'll be the right side of our team. They've played pretty relatively right through, but I think now you're getting to see wear and tear. I think we went on the left-hand side and we shored that up with Yilmaz and Davis, and I think that's what he thinks probably going forward. Now Michael Beale's come in, he might think we need an upgrade in there. So I don't think Tav or Connor Golson will see the 4 years out of their contracts, Alex. I don't think they'll be there that length of time. I think in midfield, you're right. Ryan Jack, for me, he's been good in that, and he's playing pretty well, but we need fresher players. Raskin, for me, if we get him in the door as our upgrade, he looks like he wants to take the ball off the back, go forward, make passes. We've got Cantwell. I think we'll make other signings in the summer. And I'd probably be looking to see whether Lundstrom might even struggle to get in his team going forward. You might look to move him on. Gets a lot of money. I know he's playing slightly through an injury, but I don't know whether he's one that he might want to take forward or no. So he's one that you could move on and get a fee for, as well as Kamara.
Here's what I see, Alex. It's only my opinion. I remember back after the 2016 semi-final, when we won that game, we gave Andy Halliday, who we loved, and Jason Holt, who was a good player for us then, we gave them 4-year contracts. Yeah. I mean, we ended up left with them, and the boys, and they had decent games and all that, but it was too long. And we've made a similar mistake again, I think. All right, they two guys are the leadership of our club, but you've got to be sensible. And I don't think Tav got a 4-year contract. I think it was a 2-year extension to what he had. But Golson, I would have extended his contract, but I don't know if they gave him a 4-year deal. I don't know what you think, Jimmy and Stevie.
I think the big factors when they looked at 55 was the fact that, well, two factors. One, the guns were empty and there was nobody there. And the other one, it was a screwball at Park Keys and just put it on and out, and that all worked in their favour there, and it helped the players. I think Gerrard's model at Celtic a lot of time, it was the same one that he used, that they come up there, they've got a chance of putting on a show, winning something, and that'll get us the moves away and the big money and the moves into England to the Premiership and all the rest of it. And there was only 2 players, maybe 3, that took that and got that opportunity. But they were all playing for that, and they all had something to go for. Alfie boy, I think, messed it up, with his tantrums and the way he was, and then getting sent half and all the rest of it, and Kent, nobody came from, I think we've got to start. Alfie's a funny man, you know that he can do it, and I think you need somebody that's, they shout about the board and they say the board needs sacked and the board's terrible, but I don't think the board should value for money. I don't think that guy Park and all the history guys that are weighing in with their own cash or borrowing money, whatever, I don't think they're getting value for money at all. I think they should have that guy that came from Southampton that does the recruitment or whatever. I think they should have him in the office by the neck and saying, what are you doing here? What's going on here, son? Because I just don't see it, Bringing in guys like
I don't think you're alone. I don't think you're alone in thinking that. I don't think
bringing in guys like Maton. That's what I'd be doing. I wouldn't be. Gio wasn't the only thing that Gio had to be done wrong was he voiced his concerns publicly when he says we've not got players here that's going to get any chance in this Champions League, because he knew all about Champions League football. He knew all about Barcelona and playing for all these top teams. He knew the English Premiership. He knew all about it all. It wasn't as if he hadn't seen a football player before. And he was seeing them day in, day out at training, Murray Park or whatever they call it. And he knew that what was there was no use. And he voiced that. He shouldn't have done that, but that's what he done. Probably to save himself because he seen what was coming. You know, and it did come. But,
I think Gerrard knew that as well.
Oh, Gerrard went for money after. Gerrard, the game against... the game when they were doing to 10 men, who was it? Malmo? Was it Malmo?
Malmo.
We pulled it back at half time. And they were doing to 10 men. And we couldn't beat them. We couldn't beat them to get into the Champions League. And then he went for money, and I think they said to him, look, you've had all the money. So if they'd given him more money then, it would have pushed us through and would have went on to win the league. Gerrard would have probably stayed, you know, and built on and strengthened us there. And would have won another league, you know.
Remember when Gerrard left, Stevie, we were 6 points clear.
Aye. But that was the argument about Beale, you know, when they were saying that Beale was a great white hope and that. I said, well, Beale was actually there. You know, Beale was there when we won 55 and we only won the one trophy. So you can't say that he was, you know, the greatest, but he's a pattern merchant and he's getting his results in there. So the jury's out, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's got us on the right road. But for me, he's got to deliver the League Cup. He's got to win the Scottish Cup, and then he's got to close the gap at the top of the league. And when we play the Celtic, we can't get beat. He's either got to beat them, or else he's got to, the worst result he can get at Parkhead is a draw. He's got to put a marker down against the Celtic. He's got to let them know that we're back in business.
Cheers, Jimmy. Cheers. Stevie, in you come, mate?
Yes. Listen, I'll get back to the contracts. I wouldn't have given Golson a 4-year contract. I think that was far too long. And as far as what Alec Kelly was saying about the wage structure and things like that, he's right. He's totally right, especially when you look at guys like Matondo. £28,000 a week. 28 grand a week. Matondo. Who signed that off? And I think it was Jimmy that says they want to get the boy with it. I think Jimmy's right. Somebody needs to get a hold of that wee man and say, what happened there? £3 million and £28,000 a week. What's going on? Listen, there's always going to be pros and cons. Can I ask Alec Kelly something, if it's all right, Oxford? Alec, yeah.
As long as it's not too hard.
I know what school you went to, mate. Listen, she says Beale come in, mate. She says Beale's come in. How do you think he's done, Alec?
He's improved results, Stevie. There's no doubt about that. He's improved the kind of fire in the belly with certain players in the team. But listening to Boy Star the other night, you guys will know better than me because you go to all the games. I don't see a distinct improvement on the park. What I see, what he's done is he's pushed Tavernier and Barisic high up the park, and they're basically playing as wingers now. And Oxford's been getting Lundstrom at tight the last couple of weeks. I think Lundstrom's been told to sit deeper, to push the two centre-backs out to cover the space that's in behind them. And they're basically playing as wingers now and no bothering about what's behind them. And I think you're losing your midfield because of that system. The system works when you've got a young, energetic team willing to shut down people and, you know, win their ball back. It's a Liverpool system. But you see Liverpool struggling now with the amount of injuries that they've had. The system, there's flaws in it. And when you've not got the right personnel out in the park. And I think Beale's trying to work that out. I think he's also, I think he's at fault a couple of times as well with substitutes. You look back at the Celtic game at Ibrox, you know, he went negative. I know, but he's done it 2 or 3 times now. Oxford, he done it at Kilmarnock when we should have been going for another goal and putting it to bed. I think he done the same with Dundee United. He went kind of in his shell and hold on to a 1-goal win. That our team isn't strong enough to hold on to one goal. I think we've got to use our forward players better than, that are rather than getting into our shell. So all in all, I'm pleased with the positivity of the results, but I don't see a massive improvement in the playing style. It's only my opinion.
For me, Alec, right, it was always going to be points over performance till we go to the one day, till we see what Beale was going to do. Because we all know the team we've got is kind of stale. Gio, we couldn't buy a victory away from home with Gio, and that's the whole reason, obviously, Beale came in. But since Beale's come in, he's played 9 games and he's won 8 of them and drew 1. Is that correct? Am I right there? And,
yeah, you're right.
It was always going to be points over performance, I mean, till we go to this one day to see what Beale was really going to do. And if Beale gets these 3 signings, I think we're in a really good place, Alec. I think we're all too quick to jump. This is my point. We're all too quick to jump. Yes, the performances haven't been what I want to see in a Rangers team. But as in a guy just coming in the door, he's played 9 games, and Rangers fans are starting to criticise already. He's not even got a window yet, and people are pointing the finger.
Jimmy, see me, you're not talking. Can you put your phone on mute? We're getting a lot of feedback for you, mate, when other people are talking. Put your phone on mute and unmute it when we talk to you. Carry on, Stevie.
We've just got to no point the finger so quick. We've got to give the guy time. He's not a windy, and the windy's looking good. The players that he's looking at, they're asking, and then the boy for Norwich and that, and he's looking at the other boy for down south and all. If he gets them in, and we get your Hadji and that back and stuff like that, but my squad's going to be a lot fitter, a lot better. Because let's be honest, it's the same players constantly he's been using, and he's apart from the odd one, Arfield dropping in and guys like that, it's the same players week in, week out. And you're still in 3 trophies here. So we've just got to a wee bit of reality. The guy's come in the door, he's took a team that's powder puff for Gio, and he's kept on. I mean, I can see a difference in Sakala. Come on, I see a difference in Kent. Can you not see that he's actually getting something out of the players? It really is. He's with all his bells, just need a wee reality check. He's had 9 games. This is his first window. And listen, what manager out there gets every single game correctly, regarding substitutes or who is that? Aye. So, but I mean, it's not 11 robots, but I'm the same as Jimmy. I don't want to start, we never win a cup this year, it doesn't matter. It does matter. We want to win everything we're in. We're Glasgow Rangers, every single thing. But sometimes you've just got to be realistic about where we are at certain points of the time. And we're halfway through a season, it's no ideal to swap a manager. So give the guy a bit of time. He's getting a windy here. Let's see what he can do. And I can see players that knew that were under Gio just were nowhere. And I can see Kent starting to play again. I can see Ryan Jack starting to play a wee bit again. And I can see guys like Sakala's got a new lease of life. And we've got players coming back. So just let's see where it takes us.
Southside.
It's a results-driven business, isn't it? He's got to get a winning mentality back into the squad with the players that he's inherited since he got there. So you've got to give him this one day in the summer, as far as I'm concerned. But I said on here weeks ago, even when he got the Joe League Cup, that's what we need. We need to get into that final and win it. So I'm hoping that you'll get a couple of more bodies, Alex. I think, we've been travelling for a long time, and sometimes you're not going to see the greatest game. I think a lot of players were probably tired. I think we used 7 or 8 of them. Like we said earlier, only rotated a couple here or there. And I think that for the amount of effort that they've put in and the amount of games that they played, I think we should be really happy that we've been undefeated away from him and racked up the points. So I'm happy with that. I think he's trying to implement a sort of style. Some of the players know, obviously, and he's obviously it'll be new to Davis, and it'll be new to Tillman, and it'll be new to Sakala and that slightly, or he'll have an idea. So, no, I think once we get the players that he wants, I think we'll see a bit of difference, a bit more speed and a bit more quickness and a bit more direct.
But listen, he's going to bring his own players in. He'll rise and fall by his players he brings in, and his team selection. But I think you've got to watch it. We don't start picking holes in every decision he makes, every substitution. You know, you're talking about football management. You're not talking about, as Stevie says, 11 robots. Things happen in a game of football. You know, with nine wins and a draw. Come on.
Oh, I know. No, listen, I know. As I said, it's well above satisfactory. He's hit the ground running.
I'll give you that. The football in stages, in spells, in some games we'll put some decent stuff, but over a sustained period of time, no.
No, but as you intimated earlier, though, the condition of the park and where we are physically as a team, we're continually playing the same players. All these things are elements of the standard of performance you're going to put on the park, and obviously it stresses the squad of players that a limited squad of players that he's got to choose for. So new players, new faces coming in, hopefully will give a kick to the team and the management. I'm trying not to be overcritical. I'm just being honest about what I'm seeing there. But 8 wins and a draw out of his first 9 games is excellent, by any manner of means. But let's win that League Cup and see where it takes us, because winning that first trophy, seeing the red, white and blue ribbons on it, it does a lot for the character and the confidence within a team to see, they're satisfying the Blue Legions out in that the stadium where they're playing. Let's go out there and implement our style a bit better than what we're doing, because what we're paying these players, I think we're entitled to ask for more of them compared to other teams. But I would also like to see them go at them for the first whistle as well. There's been a few games there where we've lost the first goal. We've lost the first goal. That's, I think, 21 league games in the last year. And what that does is encourages the other teams to sit in and camp in, and it's frustrating to watch. Sense if we go 2 or 3-0 up, or even 1 or 2-0 up early doors, it encourages the other team to come out, and then hopefully we can pick them off better than what we're doing. So it's hard to be too critical. I'm certainly with Bill. I'm 100% with him. But he's restricted on what he's got to select for them. So let's give him some new faces in the squad.
Jimmy, you're late 40s, yeah?
Aye, 27.
Aye. Have you known injuries like this season ever?
No. But I think some of the injuries that we had under the Geo might have been injuries that they didn't want to play. If it was. I think Beale's got more chance of getting players on the park because he's a wee bit more sort of user friendly. I think he's got the gift of the gab with the telly. He's got the gift of the gab with the fans. So it only follows that he's going to have the gift of the gab with the players as well. If he went for a job, there's a good chance he'll get it. Because of the way he is. But I think it's been a big improvement. Certainly Ryan Kent and the whole team. We now went to Pittodrie in the dying minutes and pull that game back under Gio. I think it would have just sat back and would have got beat off. Maybe got a draw, but I don't think we'd have won it. He's doing a lot right there, and he's getting a tune at them. And what he says, he's seen the same as us. The performance in the first half up at Canada, Jesus, horrendous. But we got the result. They dug in and we got the result. And we're getting the results, and that's all that matters. And we were disappointed at Ibrox for the Celtic when they came, and we were disappointed with a draw. But if you look at our previous games against them, a draw is put our on after for a draw. So he's made big inroads there quite quickly, because Steven Gerrard never done that. It did come, but it never came right away against the Celtic. He repeated the mistakes when he played the Celtic for a few games to go to singing and dancing. So no, I would say that we're on the right track, and what the lads are saying there, once he gets his own players in, because he'll survive otherwise on the strength of the players that he brings in. You know, and he's trying to make a name for himself, because his ambition will go well beyond the Rangers. You know what I mean? His ambition will be back down in England in that Premiership. You know, but he has to get us doing something first to get that reputation going. And that's how I think it'll work, you know? Because I think things will come good. But the players we've got to know, he'll know more than them do, because he's seen them over that time. He'll know that they're no winners. There's a lot of them there that can't deliver. And as I say, the fact that the stadiums were empty made a big difference, you know? Now that they're full, now that you have to go to Aberdeen and Parkhead and they're all screaming and shouting at you, you know, that makes a difference, you know. And what's his name? Fashion Sakala, you know, I mean, we're getting a song out of him. I mean, the last time before that, it was at Motherwell when he scored his hat-trick, you know. And Alfie hasn't even scored a hat-trick yet since he's came to the Rangers. So, I
don't think Gio was a fan of Sakala, if I'm being honest. I thought it was disgraceful what he done to him in that Europa League final, mate.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't, because there was a day there that Ibrox I was there, and he was coming out, and he was going to move his motor. And I said, "Are you playing?" And he says, "No." And I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Because you deserve a place in the team." And he says, "Thanks very much." And I took a photo with him and that, you know. A nice guy and all the rest of it. But he's good enough for Scotland and Scottish football. You know, he's not going to be standing out for us in the Champions League. But he can certainly rattle up defences playing in Scotland. Because half the time he doesn't know what he's going to do himself, you know. You just see him running with the ball at speed. Then he looks up, sees the goalpost, and then he just batters one away, you know. Sometimes it works for us.
Player and a bit of an enigma. So you say we're starting to refresh the squad. You've been going on about this for, I would say, 6 months. But if you look for the summer, the recruitment, you know, we did bring players in. Davis has settled down. We don't know how good Ridvan is. Most people have said we've missed Tom Lawrence, so potentially we've been unlucky there. And obviously Cholak started like house on fire. Matondo's the sort of odd one out that nobody can see why or the wherefores. But actually, if you take that as a hit rate in the transfer market, 80%, you know, obviously Suter's in there, but I think Suter came in earlier. But the ones in the summer, 5 players, 4 of them have done okay. Obviously, we've not seen a lot of them all for various reasons, but they've shown promise. But so we don't know how good they are.
No, we don't, and probably because obviously Ridvan's been out injured. We've seen wee glimpses. I think he might turn out to be pretty positive for us once he can get a bit. We'll need a bit of game time, you know. Like we say, Davis has come in. He's not commanding in the air greatly, Davis, and Goldston's not the best, but he looks comfortable. He's quite composed on the ball. He can pass the ball well, Ben Davis. So that he's looked all right. So it's just about Lawrence did come in and look all right as well. He looked like he had a wee bite about him. He could put a tackle in. He was good movement. Scored a goal at Hibs, chasing in the bogey delivered. He came in with a header. He was unlucky not to score at PSV away. We hit the crossbar and he was in a tight situation outside the box. So I think we've got something there, Ox, in the nucleus. And obviously now we've got Cantwell in and we're going to add Raskin. So the squad's certainly going to get refreshed and there'll be more players. And if that Morgan Whittaker comes in or in the summer, we can be sure there'll be more signings in the summer. And then I think the squad should start to look a lot better with players that we're hoping that will make that difference. We needed speed. We needed players that had good movement and be good on the ball, could get us up the park. So I think we've got that. And like Jimmy's saying, Sakala at the moment is doing well. At this moment in time, he's doing really well. He's got assists and he's got goals at the moment. He's getting a bit of confidence. So at the moment, Beale's getting probably the best out of the players. People are saying Kent's looking busier, and Alfie's chipped in with a couple of goals last week. So at the end of the day, I think going forward, we'll see a big difference in the squad by the summer. But up to now, he's going to have to work with them. He talks well and they're responding. And that's all we can hope for. But see, just quickly, do you think any of our young players have got a chance? I mean, I think it looks like we're going to spend our way out of this going forward.
I mean, young Leon King was unlucky. He got put in with our team, wasn't he, playing well? And he was culpable for a few goals. He made mistakes. But the boy's shown he's got promise. I don't think his position centre-back. I think actually defensive mid or right back is his position personally. Yeah, I don't think he is a centre-back. I think he can play there, but I don't think he is. The boy Devine came in and covered Bonner and had some decent games. I think he's got an engine where he can run all day, but he lacks a bit of pace. But he's definitely somebody who can to inspire. You know, the one that's the enigma is Alex Lowry. You know, he's got a talent, he's got football, he's got vision. Yeah, but when you see him against Motherwell, he looked like a boy playing man's football. Then he comes on against St Johnstone, gets the ball in the middle of the park and passes outside his boot. I think it was Alfredo. You know, you're like, what a pass, son, you know. So he's got to develop. I don't think he's quite ready, but he might be for August Southside. You know, people kick on really quick, yeah.
I've looked at it, and I know we've debated him on here, and I was for trying to get him on the park and give him some game time. But I think if we go and get somebody like Morgan Whittaker, and we've still got Tillman there, and who knows, maybe Cantwell could even go and play on that side. You don't know what he'll do. I just think Alex Lowry now, for me, I just don't see where he's going to get a chance. I think we're going to buy more players, and I think he's going to find it really hard. And I don't see a pathway, to be honest, at the moment. I think also I was just alluding to Lewis Mayles. Will be back in the summer. He's playing regular at Kilmarnock, and we've got Cole McKinnon, who's been highly rated, and he's been played 24, 25 times for Partick Thistle. He's coming back, and these boys are at an age where they're either having to try and get into the first team or they're no.
Or they need to move on. They need to move on.
Like Charlie McCann done.
I seen the manager at St. Time got his books today.
But I mean, we are hoping. Obviously, we hope Ox at some of these boys, because they can only be good prospects for so long. And
then they should be part of the team, or they'll need to go, man.
They're probably at that age of 22 now, and obviously you've got Josh McPake and Kai Kennedy as well. All these young boys that
they need to go for themselves, mate. They need to go.
And obviously that will free up money to get us to get other players in as well, because they'll all be commanding a wage. It might not be a lot, but added together collectively it'll be quite a bit.
Stevie might understand this. I'm all for loyalty, but there's no room for sentiment.
Aye, for me, Ox, I would honestly, I'm just going to say it how it is. I don't think we'll see any of them getting in the Rangers team now. I really don't. I think the boy King getting Champions League, Europa League experience was good for him. He's flung him at the deep end, wasn't he? Me personally, I think we should try and cash in on him. Well, we can say that to teams. He's got that under his belt and everything else. I just can't even see Lowry, and he's the one out the law that you would think that probably you would have seen more of, but I just don't. I just can't see it now. I think they're bringing Raskin in and the boy from Norwich and that, and anybody else, and then when you get to the summer, he's going to sign more players again, and that's. I really do. I feel sorry for the young boys. You know, they have got something about them all. There's something I like about them all, but I just think we should cash in on them, even if you were getting a couple of £100,000 for each player and getting them off of his ball too. I would do it now rather than later. I really would. I'm sorry, but I just can't see it.
Charlie McCann signed for Forest Green. He'd done a training session. He sacked the manager. On you go, AK. You come in.
I seen that the day as well, Ox. But basically, it begs the question: what's the point of having a B team and an academy if the players aren't going to, get the rewards for their play? I think that the gap
They've got to be good enough, mate. They've got to be good
exactly.
enough.
I know it's the level they're playing at. It's better than the under-23 league where they were playing against other boys, but it's not as good as the worst thing I think that they've done is drop the reserve league all the years ago. I mean, you've listened to Durant and Fergie, and he says the amount of education we go to learning off of, like Tom Forsyth and Ali McDonald and guys coming to the end of their career recovering from an injury and that. It used to be absolutely brilliant watching these guys, and picking their brains, but the gap between the third division in Scotland to the Premier League in Scotland is far too vast for these boys to step up. And it's costing a lot of money.
I didn't think there was a gap between the 6th tier and the Premier League in Scotland.
Aye, very good. I will say, particularly with Darvel anyway.
I think we might be joined by Colin. Are you with us, Colin? No, he's not with us. He dropped to it. He wanted to ask us a question about the goalkeeping, but hopefully we'll get him back before the end of the show quickly. But that's a fair comment. Listen, Jimmy, it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's my pleasure listening to these lads. Enjoy your show every night. I listen to it. Well, nice.
You're always welcome. I'll cut across you, Jimmy. We've been joined by Colin. Colin, how are we doing, mate?
I'm all right. Yourself?
All right, night, Jimmy. Colin, in you come, mate. We've not got long, but ask your question, mate.
Well, my question is, I'm glad we're signed 2 midfielders, but see, really, I think it's the defence and the midfield. Defence and goalkeeper. See, every time a cross ball comes into the box, my heart goes in my mouth. I'm like, I think we need a decent goalie and we need to sort the defence out, See, and especially the young boy McCrory, he got a chance against Celtic, and he done nothing wrong, and he's never been given another chance, and I don't understand that myself.
What's funny about that one is 3 managers have had a look at him, and they've not played him since. But I think we need a goalie going forward, south side, and then Stevie quickly.
I think we'll get a goalkeeper in the summer, Colin. I'd take a punt now and say if McCrory's fit, he might play against Partick Thistle at Ibrox in the Cup. We might get a chance to see him then.
But see, any team that gets a corner against us, they must be rubbing their hands, and it's not good enough. We need to sort that out.
You actually look at it since Michael Booth comes in. We've not missed any many goals for set pieces, if we're being honest. But I get it. It doesn't look comfortable. Stevie, quickly.
Aye. 100%. For me, we need 2 new keepers. I mean, John McLaughlin's never going to do me. Never, ever. I just can't see it in him. And Alan McGregor's it was his time last year. He should have went. We showed him a bit of loyalty this year, and let's come back to bite us. We need 2 goalies. We really do.
All right. Listen, Colin, thanks for your call. We've reached the end of the show. It was good to hear from you, mate. Phone in earlier.
Thanks for having me on. Cheers, boys.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Won the Rangers.
Cheers. AK, final word.
Oh, no bother, pal. No, I was just going to say, well, I've got Rose West up the stair and she's a keeper. Thanks for taking my call, boys.
Well, she's the pretty one in the house.
Aye, right, Quasimodo.
Stevie. Southside.
Aye, it's been good topics tonight, mate. Never know where the show goes. Started off talking about Rangers and
bikes.
Bikes, aye. And ends up leading to tickets to how many trophies we should be winning and that. So, no, it's been good chat. It's good to have been on with Bike Stevie tonight, your good self, and hopefully everybody listening in this evening enjoyed it. So thanks very much for having us on.
Stephen?
Brilliant chit-chat tonight. Listen to the guy, Jimmy, taking us all down memory lane. Absolutely fantastic. What a great wee platform we've got here for the Bears. And
it's free, mate. Free.
Free, yes. And I'll tell you another thing. The guys that come on here, I mean, there's no many of them don't talk sense. I mean, Alec Kelly's fantastic. He comes on all the time. And I just wish they would step back a wee bit at times and stop poking holes in every single thing that Rangers do or the managers do. But he's right in 99% of things he talks about. So I'll let him get up to Rosemary West, and I'm going to go to Myra Hinley. But listen, guys, thanks for having us. Brilliant again. Thank you, Oxford. And it was great to be on with Southside, my sidekick. Any spare for Tynecastle would be appreciated, listeners.
You're always looking for spare, that's your trouble. Anyway, thanks to Jimmy for phoning in and Colin for coming in late, and the one and only AK. Can I thank Southside and Big Stevie for joining us here tonight, and Fox for All School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, All School Blue.
Sure, I was dreaming of old Ibrox, of her slopes and great grandstands, and I dreamed about the Rangers, the best team in the land. When my memory suggested of a vision bright and clear, of the strange things that would happen if we had the Rangers here. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Brian Loudrup came from Sandy Road, and Alistair Points came from East Belfast, and old Belfast became then old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, sure no green flags at that game they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roll, and all the boys would stay at home if we only had the Rangers over here. I dreamed about her Ulster men who wore the shirt of blue, Bertie Manderton, Sam English, Norrie Hamilton, McCandless too. I have dreamed of Whitey McDonald, who came from Lisburn town, and the greatest Billy Simpson, who never let them down. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Brian Loudrup came from Sandy Road, and Ali McCoist came from East Belfast, and then old Belfast became old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, then no green flags at that game they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had Glasgow Rangers over here.